Every child is an artist. The problem is staying an artist when you grow up. Pablo Picasso. Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they are deciding, make even more art. Art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the less the artist does, the better. Every artist was first an amateur. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I found I could say things with color and shapes that I couldn't say any other way, things I had no words for. Don't think. Thinking is the enemy of creativity. It's self-conscious, and anything self-conscious is lousy. You can't try to do things. You simply must do things. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. The one thing that you have that nobody else has is you. Your voice, your mind, your story, your vision. So, write and draw and build and play and dance and live only as you can. To create one's own world takes courage. Whether you succeed or not is irrelevant. There is no such thing. Making your unknown known is the important thing. If people take anything from my music, it should be motivation to know that anything is possible as long as you keep working at it and don't back down. Eminem. One thing I have learned is that I am not the owner of my talent, I am the manager of it. Madonna. If everything was perfect, you would never learn and you would never grow. It's like if you want something so badly, go out and grab, just keep on doing it. Ed Sheeran. There are always going to be bad things. But you can write it down and make a song out of it. The moment you start thinking about what other people and other artists think, you are going to start writing like other people. I don't make music for eyes. I make music for ears. I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring. David Bowie. I used to get upset by people not understanding me, but I've made a career out of it now. There is no must in art because art is free. Vasily Kandinsky. Poe is the pupil who does not surpass his master. Leonardo da Vinci. If people knew how hard I worked to get my mastery, it wouldn't seem so wonderful at all. Michelangelo. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Leonardo da Vinci. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. I want to touch people with my art. I want them to say, "He feels deeply, he feels tenderly." Vincent van Gogh. Art is a lie that makes us realize truth. Pablo Picasso. An artist is not paid for his labor but for his vision. James McNeill Whistler. The artist's world is limitless. It can be found anywhere, far from where he lives or a few feet away. It is always on his doorstep. Paul Strand. It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child. Pablo Picasso. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Leonardo da Vinci. If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I, an artist, will answer you. I am here to live out loud. Emile Zola. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Pablo Picasso. I invent nothing, I rediscover. Auguste Rodin. I would rather die of passion than of boredom. Vincent van Gogh. The chief enemy of creativity is good sense. Pablo Picasso. Creativity is magic. Don't examine it too closely. Edward Albee. The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. Francis Bacon. An artist cannot fail. It is a success to be won. Hard days are the best because that's when champions are made. Gabby Douglas. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Fred DeVito. If you only ever give 90% in training, then you will only ever give 90% when it matters. Michael Owen. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Rocky Balboa. I may win and I may lose, but I will never be defeated. You just can't beat the person who never gives up. Babe Ruth. I think team first. It allows me to succeed, and it allows my team to succeed. LeBron James. The road to success runs uphill. Willie Davis. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a determination. Usain Bolt. You are never really playing an opponent. You are playing yourself, your own highest standards, and when you reach your limits, that is real joy. If you want to be the best, you have to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. Michael Phelps. Don't measure yourself by what you have accomplished, but by what you should have accomplished with your ability. John Wooden. To be the man, you have to beat the man. Ric Flair. Every kid around the world who plays soccer wants to be Pelé. I have a great responsibility to show them not just how to be like a soccer player, but how to be like a man. Pelé. Pain is temporary. It may last a minute, or an hour, or a day, or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Yogi Berra. Some people believe football is a matter of life and death. I'm very disappointed with that attitude. I can assure you it is much, much more important than that. Bill Shankly. Whoever said, it's not whether you win or lose that counts, probably lost. Martina Navratilova. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. Archie Griffin. Perhaps the single most important element in mastering the techniques and tactics of racing is experience. But once you have the fundamentals, acquiring the experience is a matter of time. Age is no barrier. It's a limitation you put on your mind. Jack E. Joyner Kersey. Sometimes you do the hard work and set the table and somebody else eats the meal. Brian Burke. Great moments are born from great opportunities. Herb Brooks. You've always been the great one, but tonight you've become the greatest. Gary Bettman 2. The day I stop giving is the day I stop receiving. The day I stop learning is the day I stop growing. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The only way to prove that you're a good sport is to lose. Ernie Banks. The more difficult the victory, the greater the happiness in winning. Pelé. One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 50 preaching it. Hugh Trockney. Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King. If you have everything under control, you're not moving fast enough. Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. Vince Lombardi. Victory is in having done your best. If you've done your best, you've won. Billy Borman. The key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. It is the will to prepare to win that is important. Bobby Knight. A champion is afraid of losing. Everyone else is afraid of winning. Billie Jean King. What do you do with a mistake? Recognize it, admit it, learn from it, forget it. Dean Smith. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Babe Ruth. There may be people that have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you do. Derek Jeter. An athlete cannot run with money in his pockets. He must run with hope in his heart and dreams in his head. Emil Zatopek. Gold medals aren't really made of gold. They are made of sweat, determination, and a hard-to-find alloy called guts. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Barack Obama. Times change, and we change with them. William Henry Harrison. Those who have wrought great changes in the world never succeeded by gaining over chiefs, but always by exciting the multitude. The first is the resource of intrigue and produces only secondary results. The second is the resort of genius and transforms the universe. Martin Van Buren. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. Barack Obama. It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. The ear of the leader must ring with the voices of the people. Woodrow Wilson. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. Don't expect to build up the weak by pulling down the strong. Calvin Coolidge. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. Woodrow Wilson. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. George Washington. The bold enterprises are the successful ones. Take counsel of hopes rather than of fears to win in this business. Rutherford B. Hayes. Motivation is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Dwight D. Eisenhower. There are no great limits to growth because there are no limits of human intelligence, imagination, and wonder. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Elon Musk. The question is not whether we are able to change, but whether we are changing fast enough. Angela Merkel. Shame corrodes the very part of us that believes we are capable of change. Brené Brown. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. The choice, as Bharat Soit, was this: you give up or you work for change. Every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. Richard Branson. The first step towards changing the world is to change our vision of the world and of our place in it. Arianna Huffington. We humans co-evolve with our tools. We change our tools, and then our tools change us. Jeff Bezos. All we have to do is to wake up and change. Greta Thunberg. Change takes courage. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. Malala Yousafzai. What you're supposed to do when you don't like a thing is change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Don't complain. Maya Angelou. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Steve Jobs. Don't risk what is important to you to get something which isn't important to you. Warren Buffett. If you truly pour your heart into what you believe in, even if it makes you vulnerable, amazing things can and will happen. A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be. Rosalind Carter. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Bill Gates. A leader is a dealer in hope. Napoleon Bonaparte. People ask the difference between a leader and a boss. The leader leads, and the boss drives. Theodore Roosevelt. What you do has far greater impact than what you say. If you think education is expensive, try estimating the cost of ignorance. Howard Gardner. A man who asks is a fool for 5 minutes. A man who never asks is a fool for life. Chinese proverb. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. Confucius. The most useful piece of learning for the uses of life is to unlearn what is untrue. Andy Steens. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Mahatma Gandhi. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Alvin Toffler. I never learned from a man who agreed with me. Robert A. Heinlein. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. Dr. Seuss. Those people who develop the ability to continuously acquire new and better forms of knowledge that they can apply to their work and to their lives will be the movers and shakers in our society for the indefinite future. Brian Tracy. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. The great aim of education is not knowledge but action. Herbert Spencer. Education without application is just entertainment. Tim Sanders. Recipes tell you nothing. Learning techniques is the key. Tom Colicchio. It is what we know already that often prevents us from learning. The task of the leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Henry Kissinger. Never tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. George S. Patton. If you think you are leading and turn around to see no one following, then you are just taking a walk. Benjamin Hooks. Leadership is the capacity to transform vision into reality. Warren G. Bennis. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.